Hi, what's up YouTube? My name's Olivia and I figured I'd just formally introduce myself because this is going to be my first of many videos for my new channel. And for my first video I really wanted to discuss my breast augmentation. It was just something I'd received a lot of questions about from emails and friends, acquaintances, Instagram especially. So I figured it's something people must have a lot of questions about, and why not just discuss it? Because I feel like a lot of times when I was doing my own research on getting my breast augmentation, I feel like people just aren't like genuine about it, and so I just wanted to discuss everything with realness and just answer those questions I feel like some people are uncomfortable with answering. So even if you're interested in getting one, or maybe you're not and you just are curious about the whole process and whatnot, hopefully I can answer some of those questions for you today. And so I guess I'll just kind of walk through my journey. First, I think one of the most important things for me that helped my healing process was just finding a really good doctor. So I did that by just asking around, family members, friends, and just sending out emails asking people that had breast augmentations where they went to, how their experience was. And my doctor I went to was Dr. Arrington, and I'd heard really good things about him from family members and friends, and so I was really excited. There were other doctors in my area, nothing against them particularly. So I chose him and I went to my first consultation. We went over sizing, silicone or saline, profiles, all that kind of stuff. And basically I really expressed to him my goals and that I was involved in fitness, and that's such a big part of my life. So I wanted my new shape of breast to center around that as well. So I made sure we were both on the same page with that, and he was totally fine with that, and let me know I would be back to working out pretty fast, so that was good. I was definitely worried about that as a trainer myself. I was happy to hear that I'd be back pretty fast. So yeah, he gave me about, I think it was like only a week afterwards, he was like, alright, so you ready to do this? So I kind of decided then there, I was ready to go for it. I really liked his personality. I liked how the consultation went, so I went ahead and scheduled my appointment for the next week. I still had about a week left of school, so I knew it was going to be tough figuring out my last week of school or so through finals, getting this breast augmentation, but I hope for the best, and I'm really lucky for the doctor I did get. So then from there, so surgery that week, it felt like I was waiting for Christmas. I was like so excited, like counting down the days. I couldn't even imagine if I had to wait more than a week. I probably would have been crazy. So that day, it was really cool. We went to the surgical center, got a gown, yada yada, and he kind of went over everything, and he really understood the vision I was looking for. I didn't particularly go in with an idea of size. I just kind of went in with a look, and I think we both had that same vision. He understood like the volume I wanted, and going in I did know that one breast was a lot larger than the other. Particularly my right rib sticks out a lot farther, so it naturally looked a little smaller. All that it was really was that it just was over to the side a little bit more, so it looked a little bit smaller, but it truly wasn't. But he was gonna have to add a little more volume to one breast than the other, which is also why I went ahead to choose saline. So in our consultation we discussed the benefits of silicone, saline, and I'd heard a lot about both. I heard particularly a lot of people said they felt that silicone felt more realistic. They felt saline felt a little more fake, I guess you'd say. But me personally, I looked into the health benefits myself. He didn't really sway me one way or the other. Health-wise, I thought that if my silicone breasts were to pop, then I would never want silicone reaching my bloodstream. I never wanted to have any sort of infection. Now, saline pop, for example, it's just salt water. So, I mean, your body would be totally fine. You would see it deflate, and you could get them replaced. I do have a warranty with them as well, so if anything bad were to happen, so I figured why not? Health-wise, it sounded like it aligned best with my ideals. I figured it'd be best just to put salt water more so in my body than silicone. Just a personal preference, nothing right or wrong. Personally, they feel like breasts to me. They don't feel fake at all. They're underneath my muscle, which brings me to my second topic, kind of choosing under or over the muscle. I chose specifically to have mine under my pectoral muscle just because I wanted a more natural look. That was my goal. I didn't want to look like I just had fake breasts, although I still wanted to look like I had boobs, but I wasn't paying all that money to not look like I didn't have boobs. But basically, I wanted mine under the muscle for a more natural look. Over the muscles, when you see a lot more roundness, and I guess what would appear to be that more fake look. I don't want to say fake, but that's just what people would think when they saw a more round shape. So underneath my muscle, it's underneath your breast tissue. And so basically, the only downside to that is working chest. I probably won't choose to work it for a while, or at least I won't go heavy. Currently, I am still lifting upper body, but just avoiding chest movements for the most part. And then that also leads me to my other topic, just of working out. So clearly for anyone else involved in fitness, getting a boob job, this is one of our biggest worries, is how long are we going to be out of the gym for? And so for me, I had a pretty quick healing process. Within 2 weeks, he already cleared me for light legs, cardio, so I was getting back to machines, just doing like I don't know, low impact movements. I was just doing like air squats, lunges, curtsy lunges, things like that. Nothing too complicated, some like extensions and curls. And I was using the bike. I wasn't doing any sort of high impact cardio, of course, no running or anything like that for a while. So yeah, just the bike for about 15-20 minutes, nothing too crazy. And then it was about 6 weeks out was when I was basically cleared to start doing upper body. So I've kind of stuck to just doing like arms, shoulders, getting my weight slowly back up, and just listening to my body. That was his biggest direction, was just to listen to my own body cues. If something feels uncomfortable, don't do it. If you feel fine, you're fine. But avoid chest movements for now, was basically what he told me. And pain-wise, my next topic, honestly, I do get a lot of questions as well. How much pain did you feel? Like, so worried about what it's going to be like. It is surgery, so obviously you are going to feel pain. You're giving a lot of numbing medicine for the most part. So on surgery day, after I was put under, I think they put a lot of numbing medicine in my breast as well, but they also had given me morphine. So for my first day after surgery, I was still on a lot of morphine. I didn't feel much. It wasn't comfortable, but I didn't feel much pain. It wasn't until that night. I had to have my little sister like carry me to the bathroom. It was so embarrassing, but I just couldn't get up from the couch. Like I say, that was honestly the biggest problem, was just trying to push myself up. I never realized how much of my chest you use to like kind of stabilize yourself up, but basically that was probably one of the biggest struggles, was getting up from the couch, walking. But after that night, it did start to get better. Although it was a little bit of a struggle for the first week getting up from places like lower areas like the couch and things like that. I had to have like literally like 10 pillows behind me to sleep. But yeah, the second day, it was just more, it began to get uncomfortable. It just felt like this weird tight feeling of like pressure and numbness. Like I felt numbness in my breast for like over a month, but that weird feeling of pressure within a week, I'd say. So first few days, the pain was probably at its highest. It wasn't that bad, honestly, though. It depends on, I guess, your tolerance. But by the third day, it was my birthday, actually. And so I was going out to dinner, shopping, going to the mall. And then that fourth day after, I was already going back to school for my last week of classes. So I was able to get around just fine. I just carried my little, I carried a little tiny binder in my purse so that way I didn't have to carry too much weight on my back, and it was fine. I think at first I was so worried that people in my classes would be like, whoa, like where'd this come from? But I didn't get any sort of rude comments. Luckily I didn't run into any of that. Everyone was so supportive, all my friends, family for the most part. Everyone was so excited for me. So it was nice to have like a good support system as well. No one was judgmental. I think everyone was more so just happy in general for me because I was happy. So for me, it was just like a bonus. Like I feel like naturally, I think if you go into something for the wrong reasons, you might not be fully happy. Like I hear people regret they went too big or too small or whatever, but like I went into this for me. Like I naturally just have never had big boobs, and the opportunity arose for my 21st birthday to get them. So I said, why not? Like to me, this has almost just been an added bonus. It made me happier, of course, but it was never for anyone, or no one told me to get them. Like literally just for me and my overall happiness, and like in wearing a t-shirt or a v-neck if I wanted to, and having like a little something show, you know what I mean? So that was kind of basically my decision. So pain levels, exercise levels. Let me check some of the other questions I'd gotten. Oh, as well, and just choosing size. So the biggest thing obviously is to talk to your doctor and let them know kind of like the look you're looking for. I never really went in saying like, oh, I'm looking for like triple D's, like how can I get there? Like it's kind of hard to know how many cc's you already have naturally almost in your breast to add to it to get to that size. So I first, of course, like I asked around naturally, like, oh, what size did you get? Like people I knew that had gotten breast augmentations, just to kind of get an ideal range. But I think that I'm just a lot bigger than most of the people that I was asking. I'm like 5'10", so I have a really wide chest. I'm pretty broad, and so that had a bigger effect on what size I would have to get. So to have the volume that I was talking to these girls that were like 5'1", 5'2", whatever, if I wanted that same volume as them at my height and like with ratio, I had to go a lot bigger to get that same volume, if you know what I'm saying. Like some of the girls I had spoken to had gotten like 300 cc's or 350 cc's below 400, and that looked great on them. But when I tried that on personally in the doctor's office during my consultation, they didn't look like anything at all to me. Clearly, it felt like it was almost the same size I had already. So I tried. They had like, I think the biggest implant they had were like 450 cc's, and I was like, holy crap, like these things are heavy, like how's that gonna fit on my chest? But I figured I'd just try the biggest one, just kind of see. And I put them in, and I was like, wow, like this is, for me, this was the look I was going for. At first it was like a big shocker just seeing it in my shirt, but I slowly like got accustomed to it. The doctor actually let me take the implants home with me for the weekend to try in bathing suits and sports bras just to kind of get comfortable with it, and I found that very helpful because I kind of got accustomed to it over the couple days to kind of realize like, wait, these aren't that big, like this is actually the size I am looking for. It's a lot bigger than a lot of the girls I'd spoken to, but I also am naturally a lot bigger than those girls I was talking to. I don't want to confuse anyone with height per se. That has really not as much to do with getting implants and sizing as much as your ratios. So like your width of chest. If you have a very tiny narrow chest, a very small implant might look great and fabulous on you. My size probably might be too big for someone like that. And as I'd spoken about earlier, I did have one boob that naturally was just a little bit smaller than the other boob per se, mostly just because my right rib just sticks out a little bit farther, so it just naturally always has looked a little smaller. So actually one of the biggest benefits about getting saline was while I was in surgery, he was able to determine, you know, if he could fill up one more than the other to match the looks. So I went for 450 cc's, although while I was in surgery, he ended up putting about 30 more cc's into my right breast to kind of equal them out, so I did have a more even look. Naturally, our left and right sides are always going to be uneven, so they can't fix like birth defects, I guess you could say, but he could do his best to kind of even them out for me. So that was really helpful. And so that was one of the cons, I guess, also about silicone, going back to that. When you pick your size on surgery day, you know, that's kind of it. So that was the best part about saline, was that during surgery he could kind of eyeball them and have the nurses look at me and say, okay, like that's what she was looking for, and go accordingly from there. But for the most part, I think that's the best way I could cover my surgery. If I had to do it again, I totally would. It was a great experience. I'm happy for what the future will hold. I'm excited to keep lifting and getting stronger again and getting all my strength back. But I had a great experience, and for anyone looking to do something like this, I'd say just don't worry about what anyone's going to say. Don't let anything like that ever hold you back from doing something that you truly want to do, and that's for you. Sorry, I'm being like motivating with this breast augmentation video, but it's so true. If there's something you've ever wanted to do in life, just go for it, and don't worry about what other people are going to say. Just do it for you. And that's all I have. Thank you guys for watching. This will be my first video of many, so keep looking forward to my videos. If you want to go ahead and subscribe and be some of my first subscribers, like, comment, share. Thank you guys so much.